imports of Bowling Green Mercedes-Benz BMW Sports Webb with your host, Brian Webb. Also starring Danny the Limb Hartung, MLB Insider, brought to you by First Step Orthotics on the Bypass. WKU Sports Analysis presented by Bowling Green Refrigeration, Heating, and Cooling. Also made possible by Poston Electronics. The one and only Vegas Prank Against the Odds presented by JBK Network Consulting. Then free golf tips with WKU Women's Golf Coach in Gary on the Green. From Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill, your Green Egg headquarters. Spotlighting high school athletics with the Culver's Butterburgers Player of the Week. The Coach's Pick with Damon Tabor with plaques from Oak Tree Awards. And all guests via the Line-X of Bowling Green hotline. And now your host of the Sports Web. Here's Brian Webb.
I never meant to call you in sorrow. I never meant to call you in pain. I don't want to one time see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Sports Webb is on your radio. Purple rain, purple rain.
Hello, everybody. There we go. Casey Warner, baby. Casey at bat. Casey at the board. I could listen to that song the whole way through.
Man, let me tell you.
Probably want to hear that more than they want to hear me. You know?
Hey, I don't know. I mean, so Prince or you, that's high company right there. I don't know who's higher up, honestly.
Man, I'm paying you too much, Casey.
Shoot.
Hey, man, we got the man on the Line-X hotline. We'll get with him here in just a second, the Limb. Just want to tell everybody thanks for tuning in and hope your life is as good as possible through this pandemic we're going through. And, you know, the sun's shining and, you know, even if it's chilly, it's still nice to have the sun out and your family around. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. Casey, you got to go up and see your mom. That's cool.
That's right. Yeah, had a great time, great dinner, you know, just me and my mom, you know, no large gatherings, just me and her, some quality time, quality meal. Happy Easter to all, man.
Yeah, same here. And me and mom was great. We had a nice, Angie fixed a great meal for me and Ben and Blake, and we enjoyed that. And, you know, it's time to talk some sports. The draft's coming up, man. Major League Baseball hopefully going to get started, having a little bit of an abbreviated season. The NBA's playing horse. I don't know. What are you going to do? What's up, Lim?
What you guys doing, boys?
Just chilling, my brother. Just chilling. How's things with you?
Things are all good, man. You know, you got to do what you got to do, dude.
That's
you
true.
know?
That was Easter.
Things could be worse.
Yeah, they could be worse, man. They always could be worse. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Hey, Easter was great. We had the old Zoom conference with the whole family all over the United States. You know, it was all good. Got to see Mama and all that other good
That's
stuff.
cool.
But it was good. Cooked a nice dinner and chilled with Sam and Ann, and they beat each other's brains out at cribbage all day. And, you know, I just chilled, dude. It was kind of fun. It was all right.
You got to teach me that game. I do not know.
Oh,
cribbage.
man. I love it. Best two-handed card game there is. I swear. It's awesome.
I've heard that. And then Tonk. I don't know how to play that either. You know how to play Tonk?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That Pinochle, well, all of it.
Pinochle, yeah, forget about that one. We played Rummy growing up with like 6 decks. That I remember enjoying that game a lot.
And Dad used to come over. Hey, you want to commit a sin? Let's play some gin, baby. Play a lot of gin.
Speaking of committing a sin, did you see where Dak Prescott had like a party of 30 over at the house? What the? Is he trying not to get that contract?
You just don't get it. People, you just don't get it. Come on. You know, I saw that group of guys in Detroit having their same parties. They didn't care. There was 30 of them, and they were elderly gentlemen, you know, and they were having parties and parties and parties. You know what? 20 of them are dead right now.
Oh,
but,
man.
you know, it's sad. It's sad. But, you know, they're duping it, whooping it up, and, you know, they're all old band members and old friends. But, you know, you just got to be careful out there, guys, really, people. You know, it's not going to last that longer. I see some glimmer of hope in the sunset, and then but it's not going to last that long. So hold out, people. You'll be better off, and just lay low. Let's hear from all the smarter people than myself. And you know, I just you know, call me a sheep, call me what you want, but I tell you what, you know, we're staying safe. So
I haven't seen my grandparents in 4 weeks, man, and I'm taking it serious as well. I'm just glad I'm quarantined with people I love. There's people out there stuck at home with people they may not want to be roommates or something, maybe not even family member. That's tough. All these college kids displaced. That was actually a birthday bash at his house. I think I misspoke, which I do quite often on TV and radio. If you haven't noticed,
even if they're coming from a different address, it doesn't make any difference, man. I mean, it could be all families. It could be all the same germ pool for that meter, But, they're still coming from different addresses, and that's where people are getting in trouble with this thing, man. But,
what about this? What about Major League Baseball? What are we? Are you hurt anymore? You had a good plan last week. Is that still looking the case?
Yeah, the way they're still talking, there's still 20 different scenarios out there right now. Right now, the most promising one sounds like maybe perhaps late May. And it's going to be the Cactus League against the Grapefruit League, and they're going to be doing that sort of deal, And what they're going to do is they're going to split each group up into two groups. One are closer to Fort Myers, and one closer to Tampa area around there, and they'll play it that way. And if you have to travel a little farther, some of these guys are going to probably take cars. A lot of these guys will be able to drive because most of them taking cars down there anyway, but they're going to try to cut down on bus trips and plane rides is what they're going to try to do.
That's smart. Yeah, makes sense.
And then as far as Arizona, there's a lot of Major League Baseball players that live out there. So, the problem with people, what they're talking about now is they're talking about people that have families. Some of these guys could be away from their families for 4 months, and that would be a pretty good toll on the family. I'm sure it's bad enough that people have to be away from their loved ones when they serve overseas. Yeah. And, man, God bless them. Sure. God bless them. But these guys are playing a game, so, I don't look at it as the same thing.
True. Yeah,
but it's going to be a difficult thing. For one, I actually see baseball playing by mid-June. I really do.
Man, I hope you're right.
I'm thinking June 1st.
I would like to say June 1st, but I think mid-June they should be able to report back to camp by the middle of May. Gives them at least 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, true.
I like my scenario, June 15th.
I like your scenario. And worst case scenario in that one, Lim, I would think would be right around 4th of July. That would be maybe the latest I think we'll see it. And what a great time for us to come back together with America's favorite pastime.
Oh, absolutely. Wouldn't that be awesome? But, I hope they get it back before then. But July 4th would be a coming out party. Have every game all day long. Wouldn't that be something? And it's on like a Friday this year, too.
Right.
So it's going to be absolutely crazy fun. I mean, like I said, just, people look into the future for that because it is coming. And it will be here before too long. And it's a matter of, taking care of business and doing what you're supposed to do, and everybody will be great, like the old Bob Marley.
No, I like it, baby. Which one do you like? Everything gonna be all right.
Be all right.
Everything gonna be all right.
Hey, Danny, I got a little, just maybe like something. Give me your thoughts on this. You were talking about the Grapefruit and the Cactus League. I was looking into it a little bit earlier, and it's how they got it set up potentially is 6 divisions, 3 in each conference per se, and the Grapefruit would have the North, South, and the East, and then the Cactus would have the Northeast, West, and the Northwest. And I was reading an article earlier that said there was a simulation they did, and it was a game called Outside the Park Baseball 2021, a video game, and they did a simulation of this league that they're thinking about maybe doing. And they ended up doing, the playoffs how it normally is, best of 7, everything. They get to the World Series, and in the simulation, they end up with 2 teams. And who do you think those 2 teams are, Danny, if you had to take a guess?
Give me the White Sox, baby.
Man, dude, I would love to say you're right, but in all honesty, come on, who is it really? Like, if they did a simulation.
They did a simulation. It had to be. If they simulated it, the simulations are going to be kind of truant in one way. Probably the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to that. It's the Yankees and Padres, and they actually had them going to 7 games.
Padres,
yeah,
wow.
Yankees winning 4-3 in best of 7. That's what ended up in the simulation. So if they were to do this, Cactus League grapefruit thing, that's what it might look like eventually. But pretty interesting to think about.
I'm really impressed with that. That's pretty cool.
Right. I thought it was pretty interesting too. It was a pretty even spread though. From what I saw, they had a 75-game season in the simulation, and then just did the playoffs like normal.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a pretty even spread. I'd say no teams were really bottom feeders. It kind of made things more even. And what I noticed the most is they really went into depth how some teams would benefit more than this because they'd be in different divisions. Not having to face tougher teams.
Exactly. The West, you're talking about the guys from the West. San Diego was in the same thing as Frisco and the Dodgers.
Exactly.
That could put them up there. There could be popping if they're with Arizona maybe, and say Seattle or something like that.
Right.
And I tell you what, I think there will be 100 games this year. I really do.
Wow.
And if you
double
come
headers,
out,
yeah.
Exactly, with some double headers. And if the June 15th, the way I looked at it, you're not going to need that many. You need a normal amount, maybe one more day a week of double headers to get 100 games in. Now, in saying that, if I'm rambling too much, cut me off.
No.
But if you could get, 100 games in and do it that way, even if you had to go back to the old system, which I'd love to do. I really don't want to do this Cactus League and this Grapefruit League. I really don't. I want them to play at home. I want them to be able to do all that, but I digress. So, even if they have to do the new thing that they're talking about doing, they could sure do 100 games.
You're listening to the Sports Web here on 102.7. We've got The Limb talking a little Major League Baseball, along with Casey Warner and myself, Brian Webb here. Thanks for tuning in. And this is brought to you by First Step Prosthetics and Orthotics on the bypass next to Computerland and Batteries Plus.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Computerland's going to get a little plug on
Yeah,
it.
I gave Miller a plug.
He's my IT guy, man.
Oh, yeah. He'll
He's
take
actually
care
my
of you.
IT guy.
He'll take care. He's done
a
lot of work for me as well.
Yeah, but and then like I said, if they can do that, but I hope there will be a baseball season, people. And
yeah, I think so.
What's going to happen is that there may be some surprises coming out of both leagues this year, just because of the shortened season and the expanded rosters. The expanded rosters, these pitchers are going to be able to go to 180 innings, and that may be for the rest of the year.
True.
So it's going to be crazy. And if they get hot, you get a hot team like the Reds or something that can put 12 in a row.
True.
Before that, they're going to be hard to catch then.
That's true.
That's the main thing,
Yeah, can't get behind in this abbreviated season too far.
Exactly. If you fall way too far behind, you're going to be in trouble still.
Well, hopefully the NFL is going to start pretty much on time. I mean, I would think anything we say is speculation. Obviously, nobody knows. But,
right.
But I'm thinking that it should be fairly normal start time for
and
them.
Hopefully, college football the same too.
I hope so. Absolutely. I mean, maybe push back a little bit, but going to start fairly, I think, on time. And the draft's coming up. Of course, we've had every year for the last 4 or 5 years. We've had our draft party at Buffalo Wild Wings on Scottsville Road there, and obviously the COVID pandemic put a notch on that thing. But we'll get back at that next year. But Danny, I mean, who do you see? I want to hear from both of you, and we're going to talk to Vegas Frank after the break here shortly and get his thoughts on it. But going to be a weird draft, don't you think?
God, mercy sakes, is it going to be a weird draft? I think, you got your Burrow probably going to Cincinnati or whatever. And then, number 2, probably the kid from Ohio State.
Chase Young.
Guy.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's a beast. And then,
he is a beast.
But I saw something today where New England was kicking the tires on that A-Bear out of Oregon.
Yeah, let me put my 2 cents in. Since you brought New England up, Danny, I just don't see them going from a veteran quarterback that they've been enjoying for the last 60 years, it seems like. But I just feel like you got a guy like Cam Newton sitting there. I mean,
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston sitting there. Once they get under Belichick's wing, they're going to be different human beings after a few weeks of practice. So, and when it comes to that, I would have to put my money on to Cam Newton. I just don't see why he's not looking that way.
I'm more of a Cam Newton fan than I am a Jameis Winston fan. I think Cam Newton is a lot more coachable. And the reason why I always have a bug in my ear from my brothers, who's from Tampa Bay, and he said this Jameis Winston could have been one of the best quarterbacks. He's just not coachable. He for some reason he does everything on his own. God, I hope that I'm not sounding like a big hater out here.
No, you're not. I mean, if he threw the touchdowns he's been throwing and minus the interceptions, he would already be in a different league.
He has his own 30 and 30.
30 for 30.
30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
But, no, I really always like Cam Newton, and the guy's got a monster arm. And I still think he's got a lot in the tank left. And New England would be a good landing area for him with Belichick, I would hope.
I think so.
But they may start, I tell you, starting from scratch, they may go from the bottom up and pick up a good rookie and groom him like they did Tom Brady, buddy.
Right. No, right on, definitely. Here's a little fun fact on Jameis Winston you might not have heard. But Jameis Winston got LASIK eye surgery this offseason. Does that change your opinion at all, Danny?
Maybe he could see his receiver.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe not 30 interceptions this year, just 20, you know?
Dude, but hey, you know, it's weird because I can't play golf with my glasses on because it's some weird, I don't know what it is. But if I have my contacts in, I can see a little bit better. I wonder what LASIK would do for my game. But, you know,
yeah, me too.
You know, if it gets it back to 2020, you never know. Maybe he's not seeing the full field at a good angle or whatever. I don't know, you know. But that's a great point, Case.
Right. And then as far as the draft goes, do you see anybody trading up in the first 10 picks, Danny?
Boy. The only one I would see really going after anything would be the Jets. I really do.
Okay.
I could see them trying to get like the second or third pick and go, because they're going to go heavy on defense this year. And Jets are going to start. They're starting to pick up some players, and they're going to be tough in that AFC East. Plus, they don't have to worry about Tom Brady anymore.
Exactly.
Good point.
You know, so I mean, this AFC East is going to be a wide open
really
thing to
is.
happen.
You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I think the Buffalo Bills got a chance to make it to the Super Bowl.
I think they do too. Yes,
I love that quarterback. I do like that quarterback.
He's fearless, man. Let me tell you, he can do it all. I mean, he might be a little rough around the edges now as far as risky plays and turnovers goes, but clean that up, and he's got a lot of upside.
Who cares, really? That's
Absolutely.
Who'd they just pick up for a running back? Didn't they get Ingram or somebody up there?
No, they didn't get Ingram. Melvin Gordon went to the Broncos, but I'm not sure if the Bills picked up any running backs.
The guy that from last year. What's his name?
Devin Singletary.
Yeah, Singletary. He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
I had him in my list.
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too. Yeah, looking forward to that, man. I had another good thought
me too,
for you.
Man. I'm getting geeked for all the sports again, man.
Yeah, no.
So
weird. I mean, I used to be thumbing through the channels at night and see like a Knicks game, or not a Knicks, but like a Nets game or something. And I'm like, now
exactly.
I'd kill to watch that.
Exactly. Right now, we'd be just coming down.
Yeah, exactly.
From a March Madness.
I know.
We would still be hung over. From the March
Man, we'd be just coming down off that 9th championship for Kentucky. Woo!
Oh, snuck it in there.
Man.
Casey snuck it in there.
Waiting for it.
My Tops would have made it to the Elite Eight. I'm telling you, man. Oh, well, we'll find out next year what happens, and I'm looking forward to the March Madness next year. Can't believe it's going to be another 12 months before we get there.
They had to pull it out today, too, and they got Kentucky at 8 right now.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
They got Tennessee at 11. Come on, guys.
Tennessee. You're down in Tennessee, I think.
Not today. I'm still in Bowling Green.
You're still in Bowling Green. Yeah, you're essential, so they're not going to lasso you at the state line on 65. I wouldn't think.
Well, they haven't yet. But,
well, that's good.
One of these days. I figured they would. Though.
Yeah, they know who the limb is. They see him coming. They're like, oh, it's a limb. He's good. He's good.
Right, Mr. Cool.
Danny, leave us with a good final thought, man. Something positive to the listeners of Sports Web here. We're all in this together, like I've heard so many times. And we are. We are.
We are all in this together. But you know what? When we all come out of this, let's not get back to normal. Let's get above normal.
Let's take it up a notch.
Normal didn't work last time.
That's
Let's
good
do
point.
a little bit better than that.
I like it, baby.
Everybody, love everybody a little bit more. You know, keep in touch with your family a little bit more, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Great words
Very well
from the
said.
old wise one, the limb, Danny Hartung. Well, buddy, we'll pick back up. We're glad when you can get back in the studio, but this social distancing works out just fine. We've got the Line X hotline, so that's good stuff, you know?
All right, man.
Appreciate you, Danny. Listening to him on the Line X hotline, brought to you by Roger and Gina Cowan over there on the Louisville Road, Porter Pike intersection. Get the bed of that truck taken care of with the Line X bedliner protective coating. Plus, they got all the truck gear you can use. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're coming right back with the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Las Vegas zone, Vegas Frank against the odds when we get back on the Sports Web. Casey and Brian, 102.7 ESPN.
When Poston Electronics opened in Bowling Green back in 1974, it sounded more like this.
Turn it up, man!
Now Poston is as legendary as the artists Southern Kentuckians hummed through the speakers they've bought there for the last 45 years. Poston is everything audio with top brands like JP Audio and Alpine. From home theaters, boats, motorcycles, side-by-sides, custom work, installation, service, or sales, Poston still has the sound. Turn it up, man. Poston Electronics, across from Firestone on Broadway Avenue.
Hi, this is Danny Hartung with First Step Prosthetics. Jeremy Harris and I would like to thank the people of Bowling Green and the surrounding areas for their support of the last 10 years. We are proud to announce that we have been celebrating over a decade of service to this community. We are going strong with the utmost care for our orthotic and prosthetic patients. We strive to provide the new and latest technology for the care of our patients and whatever their specific needs should be. Take the next step with us. Next Batteries Plus on the bypass, or visit us at firststepprosthetics.com.
So what's the deal with Big Green Egg Grills? Mike Keith here, letting you know if you're looking to grill, smoke, or bake on the highest quality grill out there, you need to see Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill. They have the Big Green Egg, #1 for over 25 years and with good reason. With a lifetime warranty and best-in-class ceramics, this thing is awesome. There are no chemicals in Big Green Egg Lump Charcoal. And Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill has the best price in town, just off the bridge on Old Louisville Road. BowlingGreenFireplace.com.
Not all spray-in is created equal. For example, spray-in honey. Why are all these bees following me? Or maybe spray-in tanning.
Hey, you missed a spot there on your face. Oh, that's bad.
See Line X Bowling Green for spray-in bed liners and Line X truck gear. It's the next level of complete tough gear for your truck. B&W Gooseneck hitches, toolboxes, step bars, and WeatherTech doormats. Gift cards now available. Easy, affordable, and rugged. Line X. Check out more at linexofbowlinggreen.com.
We help you make you the WKU store.
Rain or shine, shop online at WKUstore.com. Use code all caps WKU15 to get 15% off WKU gear. Includes Hilltopper and White Squirrel hats. All caps WKU15, WKUstore.com. Night or day, just a click away.
We help you make you the WKU store.
This is Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles. The coronavirus outbreak is unlike anything that we have seen or experienced in our lifetime. That's why this station and Feeding Kentucky are uniting against hunger. You can help your local food bank by donating today at feedingky.org. Your generous gift will ensure that families across the Commonwealth have enough food to eat during this crisis. Together, we can make a difference. Consider donating at feedingky.org.
Hello, Vegas. Give me $100 on red.
Joe! $200 in chips, please.
Are you a professional?
That's your bet, sir.
Bet.
Hit me.
It's a bust.
Whoa! I am on fire.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
You're a winner!
Against the Odds with Vegas Frank is brought to you by JBK Network Consulting. JBK Network Consulting. We are IP everything. Working with complex organizations to achieve measurable business outcomes is what we do. Let Jim Grant and JBK Network Consulting go to work for you. Call 270-796-8935. Visit JBK Network Consulting at 1143 Fairway Place, Suite 105, and online at jbk.net.
Yeah, on the LineX hotline. All the way out there in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm guessing it's sunny. We've got him on the LineX hotline. What's up, Vegas Frank?
I'm doing good. How about yourself? It is very sunny.
Oh, that's good, man. That's really, really good. You can, if you get some solar panels, you might be able to, run your computer by solar panel. That'd be smart.
I've got plenty of time to install them.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of installing, we're going to be talking about some of these NFL teams are going to be installing some new talent come the 24th, 25th, 26th. We're going to get on that in a minute. First of all, I would like to give a shout-out to the longtime Lady Topper voice, Barry Williams. Big birthday for Barry. I think he's 97 today, and good luck to you, Barry, out there.
Big Barry.
He's still getting around good for 97, man.
I'll say, man,
looks good.
That's
he
impressive.
Looks good, man. He looks really good. Barry, if you're listening, happy birthday, buddy. Hey, Frank, first of all, set the stage. What's going on in Las Vegas? I mean, has anything changed since last week? I mean, have you seen the National Guard isn't in town or anything, right? We want to make sure it's not going the other way.
Nothing has changed. The only thing that I could say as far as an update is you'll get great parking spots everywhere you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the valets.
That's the only thing that's changed.
Don't even need the valets right now, do you?
There's no need for valet. You can park pretty much wherever. You probably park at the front door of any casino and just walk in.
That is so. It's got to be so weird. You've lived out there forever. I mean, I was there for a long time. I just myself trying to picture it. I can't imagine what it's like. I mean, especially for you guys who you've been there a long time, Frank. I mean, you would never. I would have never even imagined that we would have seen something like this.
No, I never would have thought I'd seen anything like this. Just going up and down the Strip, we drove the Strip last week, Friday night.
Take 5 minutes?
We drove up on the Strip. Yeah, it took 5-10 minutes.
It's usually an hour.
To drive probably from the Trop all the way down to where, past Circus and all that, turn back around. I mean, there's no cars. There's nobody around. There's
I just
no
can't
people.
even
It was bizarre.
fathom that. I mean, I just
on a
can't.
Friday night.
On a Friday night. I can't even fathom it, man. Well, how was your Easter?
Easter was good. I mean, unusual, but I think it was really nice, actually.
Yeah, that's good. Did you seen your boy lately?
Talked to him a little bit. You probably know, I mean, he lives in Arizona.
Yeah.
He lives in a remote area in Arizona, so he's kind of secluded already. He's staying pretty busy, but where he works is kind of shut down. Everything's kind of shut down. He's working very limited. So he's got 3 days worth of work, and he's trying to spread it out over a work week so he's got something to do each day.
Well, that's smart because, we were all kind of going through that. I mean, it's like, what do you do with your time? And, I've ran through projects. I haven't cleaned out the garage yet, and I was thinking there's probably not a garage in South Central Kentucky that isn't spotless, just mine. I don't know that I'll ever have enough time to get to that.
You've got plenty of time now.
Oh, yeah.
You got Casey here hanging out, man. We wanted to jump into this draft. We're going to miss our Buffalo Wild Wings. You're always on that show, Frank. We're going to miss that. You hearing that, Casey? What is that? I hope it's not going out over the airways. Man, I tell you, Frank, what are you thinking? I mean, is it going to be Joe Burrow or is it going to be Chase Young, man? That's kind of the discussion I'm hearing.
Well, I think that in any other draft, if we were going off of, we're basing this draft off of need, and what the Bengals need is a quarterback.
They do.
And Joe Burrow is the answer for that. Chase Young in any other draft, I think, would be kind of like the no-brainer, kind of slam dunk kind of pick. But I think that Joe Burrow is gonna. You're talking about a Bengals team that was 30th in offensive efficiency last year. So I mean, Joe Burrow right away infuses at least some consistency. I think that he's going to bring in some good habits, and it's gonna be fun for him to be there with that Bengals team. You know, how soon they're all able to actually work out together is another question, but I think that it's going to be interesting once he gets there and gets in camp. I think it's a no-brainer for them. It's a great pick for Joe Burrow, number 1 for the Bengals.
I don't know that he wants to go.
He probably doesn't.
He's an Ohio guy.
He is an Ohio guy.
Kind of close to home.
He is an Ohio guy. And we saw LeBron do it in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Straight out of high school. So, I mean, maybe he'll give it a shot. But I was going to ask both of you guys, is there not some way the Bengals can still get Burrow and mess around with this thing a little bit and make it even better for them? Or is pretty much just picking him right out of the gate their best scenario?
I think other than them switching spots with the Skins or the Lions, I mean, who pick right after them, I don't see it.
I mean, could they get a second round or another first round pick out of the Skins? The Skins getting anything extra? Or, because I don't know, man. I think they might be able to will and deal a little bit. That's just my thinking. It's going to be weird. Tell us how this draft's going to go down, Frank. I mean, it was supposed to be in Las Vegas, right there. How's it going to go down? Is it going to be Zoom? Is it going to be FaceTime? I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it.
It's going to be a combination of different technologies put together. If you saw, I think it was up today. They might have been doing a little bit of last night. They kind of showed a little bit of Robert Dimitroff, the GM for the Falcons. They're showing a little bit of how his war room is set up. They all have like a Zoom meeting group to where they have virtual draft boards. And between him and the ownership and the coaches, there's like 5 or 6 of them. They all have their own little tablets and everything set up that they can kind of go in between as far as drafts and projecting 5 drafts past to and 5 drafts prior to what you're going to pick before you actually make your pick. It's very similar to doing an online fantasy football draft.
That is true.
It's very similar.
That's great.
So a lot of us who are like, degenerates, who have been doing fantasy football for 20 plus, 25, almost 30 years doing fantasy football. I used to do fantasy football out of a newspaper.
Dude, I remember.
Scoring. Yeah, it was weird back then. But they're going to take advantage of all these technological possibilities, and it's going to be very strange. I think that we're going to have a limited amount of trades just because people aren't going to know how to get it. There could be some lag as far as communication.
That's true. I never thought about that, Frank. That's a great point, Casey.
Yeah, I mean the technology. Technology never runs 100% smooth. So that's what I'm kind of worried about. Is maybe there might be a glitch or something. But as long as I can see who my team drafted, I'll be satisfied.
Yeah,
that's all I need to see.
It's like when you buy a stock, you thought you got it at $1.30 a share, but your computer was so slow.
Oh, gosh,
it was $1.90. So you're losing like 60 cents a share when you thought you nailed it. That could happen.
It's very possible. We're in a very strange time right now where we're going to have guys that get drafted and we say, they go, wait a minute, I didn't want to pick him. I wanted the other guy.
Yeah, redo. Hey, Casey's got his top 10. He's going to drop, and then maybe you can give us a little bit of a top 10. Frank, let's hear what the old Casey at Bats got.
All right, so I studied up just a little bit, kind of just been, looking at a plethora of mock drafts, reading into some prospects, and obviously looking at team needs. So common sense, most people got, Joe Burrow going to the Bengals, number 1 overall. I'm going to stick with that. Number 2, Chase Young to the Redskins. I don't think any flippity-flopping is going to go on in the first 2 picks. But here's where it gets dicey. Number 3, I got the Chargers trading up with the Detroit Lions for that 3rd pick, and I think the Chargers are going to go after Tua. I think the Chargers are going to trade the Lions for that 3rd pick. Lions are going to move down to 6, and I think the Chargers are going to go ahead and get Tua. At 4, I got the Giants taking an O-lineman. Kind of a wild guess out there, but for my sake, just to have some clout per se, Jed Wills at 4. I played against Jedrick Wills when he played at Lexington Lafayette here in Kentucky, so I hope he goes number 4 just for my sake. Number 5, I got Justin Herbert going to the Dolphins. Number 6, where the Lions traded down from the Chargers, I got Jeff Okudah going to the Lions. Number 7, I got Isaiah Simmons going to the Panthers to replace Luke Kuechly. And then 8, 9, and 10, I got back-to-back-to-back linemen. Tristan Wirfs to the Cardinals. Mekhi Becton at 9 to the Jaguars, and then Andrew Thomas at 10 to the Browns. So that rounds out my top 10. What do you got, Frank? What are you thinking? Any wild trades or anything?
Yeah, let's hear some craziness.
Well, I think that I have a lot of similarities to what you had as far as we were probably doing homework in the same. We were probably sharing some online script notes or something going back and forth. I think if we get to the third pick, and this is something that's going to be very interesting to watch. If we get to the third pick and all of a sudden the Lions have taken Tua, that means that someone has gotten to the Lions and made a deal.
Yeah.
So if the Lions draft Tua, like we're saying, we don't know if there's going to be trades because of how everything has been. Maybe there's a deal worked out later in the day. Remember, the draft is at night, so they've got all day to start to negotiate and start messing. We've been messing with each other for weeks. These teams, they've been in each other's ears. So is somebody going to make a deal that sounds sweet enough to the Lions? It doesn't sound like the Lions at this point want to draft a quarterback. That doesn't mean they won't, but it doesn't sound like they want to go that direction. And Okudah, I love that guy. If there was any no-brain cornerback, I would say Henderson from Florida. But I would say Okudah probably first, just because I think he's a number one corner. You put him with Trufant. Remember, they lost Darius Slay. They traded him to the Eagles. So they need to address the corner position. And it upgrades their defense, pass efficiency, their defense passing immediately if you have a guy like Okudah, because he's athletic, he's a coverage corner, and he plays zone. He's a great corner. But, my team, my draft-wise is pick-wise is very similar to yours. Isaiah Simmons at 4 I like him. I just think he's a stud. To pair him with Peppers, I think that is the hybrid defense that could turn things around for the Giants, and they really need some good luck, a good stroke of luck.
Yes, they do.
With the Dolphins at 5, I like Herbert. The Dolphins, I mean, unless something crazy happens, it sounds like that's kind of like locked in. I think they're already working on some things. My people that I've talked to in the Florida area, it sounds like it's already a done deal that Herbert will be going to the Dolphins. They love him. Unless something drastic changes between now and next week, Herbert's going to be a Dolphin. I've got Mekhi Becton from Louisville going 6 overall to the Chargers. It's not really a sexy pick for the Chargers to take an offensive tackle, your 6th pick overall. But I think that is something that they need to start to build on. Panthers, I've got them either taking Derek Brown, most likely, or Javon Kinlaw, the defensive tackle from South Carolina. And I've got Wirfs or Thomas going 8th overall to the Cards.
The Cards, don't they? I mean, what do they need the most, though? What
a line.
I mean, they got to protect their man back there.
Yeah,
he's too good to let it, not give him some protection. If he had more time last season, I mean, I think he could have even done it even better.
I mean, you got to think the Cardinals have DeAndre Hopkins now. That's scary to think. With Christian Kirk. I mean,
that is a very good
with Larry
tandem.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Fitz going to be around.
I mean, that's scary.
I can't believe he hasn't retired. I'm glad he hasn't, but I can't believe he
Continue
hasn't.
though, Frank.
Another year, so I'm sorry.
Continue though. Who's 9 and 10?
Oh yeah.
So 9 for the Jazz. I probably have the guy that the Panthers don't take out of Derek Brown. I think Derek Brown will go 7th to the Panthers. So I'm saying the Jags will probably take Javon Kinlaw, and then at 10th, the Browns are probably going to go offensive tackle. So probably Wirfs or Andrew Thomas, whoever the Cards don't take, and falls to them, and it kind of helps them out in either sense. And I know we got to talk about the Titans, because we just have to talk about the Titans all over.
Well, first of all, you just got Mariota as possibly your quarterback. I don't know if he'll start. I guess he will. Won't he, Frank? I mean, are the Raiders going to start him or what?
He won't start, but he's going to compete with Derek Carr. They're going to give Derek Carr another
reverse
year.
Tannehill Mariota situation, and he's Tannehill this time.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we've been playing a season, we might be playing it on Madden this year. We don't even know if these guys will be playing.
That's true. I think they will.
Online.
I think they will. Who do the Raiders take, though, 12th pick overall?
Well, what I'm hearing is that if he falls to them, that they would actually take Tua, which I don't really like that
That's
much,
going to get complicated.
that's going to get really complicated. If they've already signed Mariota and given him a contract, but you know that Gruden loves quarterbacks. The problem is you can't start 5 of them.
Yeah,
so,
he probably would if he could figure a way to do it.
If he could figure a way out to put them all on the field, he would. But that's what I've heard is that they like Tua. Gruden loves Tua.
But what do you think the Raiders need the most, though? You're a Raiders guy. What do you think they need the most?
We need defense, but I think they're going to go offense. We need to address the defense. The defense efficiency, we were bad.
It's got a lot of holes in it. Got a lot of holes in it, yeah.
A lot of holes, not getting a lot of stops. I mean, we give up way too many points. We had a lot of third down conversions this past season. It was really brutal. A lot of prolonged drives, that we couldn't get stops to. And, we had some highlights. I mean, Jacobs is obviously, he's kind of like a star in the making. But,
my goodness.
I mean, other than that,
what a running back. Golly.
Yeah, the defense was rough, though.
That's why I like Mariota back there with him, I mean, much more of an option guy than Derek Carr is. Or David Carr, whichever one's.
Derek, yeah.
Is it Derek?
That's the brother, yeah.
I always get them mixed up.
David Carr is the older brother.
Old David Carr.
The old man. He's a commentator now. I liked him, though. He wasn't bad.
Yeah, he was good.
He wasn't terrible. He went straight to the Texans
and got beat around for about 5 years.
Smacked in the face. Man, I love it.
Play with the Raiders too.
That's true, Frank. I didn't realize this, but I wasn't thinking about it. But normally this time of year, you and I are talking about futures to win the Super Bowl and to win, over under 7-8 games for the season. We're not going to do any of that, or do they have some of that up? Or are they playing with it?
That they don't really have a lot of it up. I probably could look for some stuff online, but they really I haven't seen a lot of it.
So weird, man. It's so weird.
It is.
I mean, what are these guys doing? I mean, we used to know some of these guys like Billy Baxter and some of these real dudes that set the odds. I mean, odds makers. When you talk about odds makers, they're actual behind doors, smoky room, setting these things. What are they doing right now? I mean, it's so crazy how much it trickles down to everything.
But I talked to a guy that I would say he's not a big, well-known handicapper. He probably prefers it that way. But I've been to his house, and it's set up like a sports book.
Oh man, that's awesome!
And he's got multiple
Lefty Rosenthal
laying around. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He has the 4 or 5 mounted TVs. He's got a TV in the kitchen. His wife has earbuds in because she's not trying to listen to anything that's going on.
That's great.
Got little dogs, barking and yip-yapping around the house. I didn't stay very long. I went once, watched the morning games, and then as soon as they were out, I had to go.
That's
cool,
though. I bet he's I bet he's watching, 7 games at one time instead of just one, isn't he?
He's watching 7 different replays.
Yeah, there you
right
go. Now. I'm saying like normal situation. He's watching everything.
Oh, yeah.
He's got everything up. Some of these guys, it just amazes me their intellect when it comes to this stuff, especially betting. Casey, you probably not got to do much gambling in your life. You're a young guy.
I tell you what, I'm a Louisville guy though, so I've been to my fair share of Churchill Downs races. I have put plenty of money on some horses. Now winning's another thing, but I put some money down.
I've never been able to win horses. Frank, have you ever played the horses much? I've not talked to you about that too much. We always talk about the Derby.
Not often enough. Not as often as I'd like.
There is some horses running though. There's a few
some
parks.
races going. Yeah,
there's a few parks open. I guess they don't have anybody in the stands. It's all simulcast, I guess. But there is some kind of betting out there you can do.
Well, we're going to find it because I'm getting antsy.
Yeah, I may start betting wheels and quinillas and trifectas and just all that stuff.
Betting on the weather every day.
Yeah, betting the weather and what's it going to be like.
Well, we could bet the draft next week.
You could bet the draft next week. That's
draft picks. You can bet are there going to be more than this many linemen taken in the first 15 picks?
I like it.
Stuff like that. I'm going to look up some of that actually for next Tuesday.
I wish you would. That'd be cool stuff to talk about. And it seems like the top 20 is pretty wide receiver heavy. There's some good wide receivers in there, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Jerry Jeudy,
obviously, Jeudy. Oklahoma kid, CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb,
yeah, CeeDee Lamb is good.
There's a ton of talent out there. It's a pretty good draft-wise.
It really is.
You're looking for a receiver. There's a lot of guys out there.
It really, really is. You guys mentioned a couple of them right there, and there's a few more even that you could throw in there. That Justin
Lynn
Jefferson,
Bowden.
LSU, he's a good. Yeah, Lynn Bolden, he's good.
Jefferson, yeah.
There's some good ones. There's a few good running backs. I don't know if it's as running back heavy this year as we're normally seeing, though. Do you?
Not as heavy. I mean, there's still going to be good value. I think you can find guys in that second and third round. I'm intrigued to see how the second and third round of this draft goes. I mean, the first round, I mean, people kind of know, they have an idea about what they're going to do, but then you're doing this second and third day. Do people start to get desperate? And does all of a sudden the guy's value go up when you thought, like, this guy is obviously a fourth or fifth round pick, and then you see him go in the second or third round? Do people do some panic selections?
That's a good point. Yeah,
because we're limited to the amount of communication that these guys have, working the phone lines. It's gonna be weird. It's going to be entertaining. I'm just looking forward to something that I haven't already watched before.
Yeah, that's true, too.
I've rewatched about as many bowl games and everything I can.
You're going to definitely get a different draft this year, that's for sure. But I do think there's a lot of great defensive people, defensive personnel in this one, man. What's who are some of the NFL teams that we talked about the Raiders, alluded to the fact that they got holes, but there's a couple other teams, Casey, that really need some defense. Do you think the Rams going to look at juicing theirs up? Because they got a pretty good defense.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was about to say all my eyes are on day 2 because the Rams don't have a first-round pick. Rams got 2 seconds, 2/3, and a fourth. So all eyes are on the second day for the Rams. And, they have some, contract issues, some cap issues they've been working through. Got rid of Brandon Cooks, got rid of Todd Gurley. My thing is, you can fill your roster out in the second and third rounds. There's no reason they can't.
Quality.
So if you have multiple picks in the second and third round, you can draft potential starters in those rounds. There's several holes the Rams need to fill, and I think they can fill those holes in the second day. So all eyes are on that second day for me. I agree with you, Frank. That's where it's going to get real dicey is the second day. That's when some wild stuff's going to happen, I feel like.
No, I tend to agree with you. I think that's where you're going to see some of these rosters really start to take shape. Because remember, we have a free agency period where there's still guys that haven't signed their contracts.
Right.
These guys, true. Everything is still sort of in limbo. You heard about the Eli Apple thing, that he signs the contract to sign as a free agent with the Raiders, but there was some wording that went wrong in the contract. He walked away.
Wow.
They didn't get a deal figured out.
And
there's going
to
be some other guys that's going to happen again.
And a lot of those guys are going to be post-draft scenarios. They're going to wait and see the smoke clear before they and it could definitely affect some of their deals, don't you think?
Yeah, and you have a roster the roster is so big. You've got to fill a 53-man roster, plus a practice squad, plus guys that you're going to invite to camp. I mean, you've got to fill a roster, and you've got to juggle all these other scenarios that you've got going on. Coronavirus, pending. We don't know. We don't know what practices are going to look like. What are the OTAs going to look like?
That's true.
There's all these other things. It's the most intriguing off season for sports.
It really is. It's insane. I was going to say, and I'm going to be watching the teleprompter draft, FaceTime draft, whatever we want to call it. And you know what I've named my man cave at the house?
What's that?
At the COVID cabana, we're watching the draft and we're having some drafts at the COVID.
This man.
Dun, 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 dun. You like it?
Oh, my word.
He's a natural.
You got to have a little fun with it, Frank. You know what I'm saying?
I'm really impressed.
Listen, buddy.
I think he wants to get off now.
Yeah, he's ready to go. He wants to go stare at the barren streets of Las Vegas, Nevada. Hey, buddy, we appreciate you, Frank. We'll hook up next week and touch on some of those little teasers you teased us with. We like that. I like to be teased.
Sounds good. Always nice to tease you guys, and good talking to you.
You too, my man. We will hook up with him next week. We don't go anywhere. We're coming back. We'll talk a little golf with Coach Adam Gary. Find out what's going on in his world right now. Don't go anywhere. Sports Webb, 102.7 ESPN Radio.
This is Mike Keith, voice of the Tennessee Titans, and you're listening to the Sports Web on ESPN Radio 102.7.
JBK Network Consulting and Cisco Systems have long been partners in Hilltopper Country. We have served South Central Kentucky since 1992 and now serve customers throughout the Commonwealth and in 19 states. With the power of Cisco Systems, JBK Network Consulting offers a complete lineup of voice-over IP, wireless indoor and outdoor, and digital signage for both information and entertainment sales and services. Looking to expand or just want to start on rock-solid ground? Conveniently located in Bowling Green, JBK Network Consulting, where we are IP everything.
If your business needs to cool, chill, or freeze, or warm, heat, or cook, you know you can't afford to disappoint. That's why you call BG Refrigeration, because BG Refrigeration never disappoints. They satisfy any heating or cooling need your business may have. Factories, restaurants, malls, plants, big industrial warehouses, doesn't matter. BG Refrigeration is who you call. Commercial heating and ducts, AC maintenance and replacement, commercial refrigeration, restaurant equipment, cold storage warehouses. BG Refrigeration ensures your heating and cooling needs are met so your business doesn't suffer. Walk-in freezers, exhaust systems, pizza ovens, ice makers, whatever heats or cools. If it's restaurant related, BG Refrigeration is, by far, the best company in South Central Kentucky to service them. In fact, there are a few companies that can or will even try to do what BG Refrigeration does every day. They're the company that's called in for the big jobs that require more experience, that need to be done right the first time. Why would you trust your business's commercial heating and cooling needs to anyone else? Turn to the experts. Call BG Refrigeration at 270-782-5391, where your comfort is their concern.
Culver's Restaurant on Scottsville Road has you and your family's safety in mind. But even though the dining room is closed for now, Culver's of Bowling Green wants you to know the drive-thru is open for all regular business hours. So you can still get your favorites like butterfly jumbo shrimp, flaky North Atlantic cod, and chicken tenders. Remember, our chicken is raised humanely and without antibiotics. It's simply the best. What about fresh salads and our cook-to-order classics like roast beef, yummy! Oh, and everyone's favorite butter burger, frozen custard, malts, and shakes. Culver's, welcome to delicious, 4903 Scottsville Road. Tired of overbooked municipal courses? Waiting for the group in front of you while the group behind you launches ballistics? Well, Willow Oaks Golf Club in Glasgow, Kentucky is ready to entertain you and your family all year long. This is an affordable private club with all the amenities. 18 majestic golfos with pristine greens and fairways, large swimming pool with separate children's pool, tennis courts, driving range, fitness center. Then unwind in the private oak bar or enjoy amazing food choices perfect for weddings or corporate events. This will be your home away from home. Visit willowoaksgolf.com or better yet, set up a tour and discover the best kept secret in South Central Kentucky.
When Poston Electronics opened in Bowling Green back in 1974, it sounded more like this.
Turn it up, man!
Now Poston is as legendary as the artists Southern Kentuckians pumped through the speakers they've bought there for the last 45 years. Poston is everything audio with top brands like JP Audio and Alpine. From home theaters, boats, motorcycles, side-by-sides, custom work, installation, service, or sales, Poston still has the sound. Turn it up, man. Poston Electronics, across from Firestone on Broadway Avenue.
JBK Network Consulting and Cisco Systems have long been partners in Hilltopper Country. We have served South Central Kentucky since 1992 and now serve customers throughout the Commonwealth and in 19 states. With the power of Cisco Systems, JBK Network Consulting offers a complete lineup of voice-over IP, wireless indoor and outdoor, and digital signage for both information and entertainment sales and services. Looking to expand or just want to start on rock-solid ground? Conveniently located in Bowling Green, JBK Network Consulting, where we are IP everything.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
Time to go home there, Ball.
I can make it across.
Well, then do it.
We got all of that. Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Knock it on. Let her rip.
It's in the hole. By the way, what did Mr. Webb shoot this morning?
It's time for Gary on the Green. Gary on the Green is brought to you by Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill on Old Louisville Road and online at bowlinggreenfireplace.com. Call 270-495-1131.
Welcome back to the show. We got on the Linex hotline, Coach Adam Gary. Before we get there, I want to tell everybody, remember, Culver's Butter Burgers are open. Casey, I've had so much Culver's in the last 3 weeks. You would not believe it.
I bet.
Oh, it's so good. It never gets old. And I'm telling you right now, that's if you haven't been out there for dinner one night, run by and grab that. And I think you can also get that through those apps of delivery if you need to. Guys, we got him right here, right now. His season was interrupted abruptly a few weeks ago, just like all of us, kind of still in shock, I'm sure. But Coach Adam Gary, WKU Lady Hilltoppers. What's up, buddy? I saw you on a podcast the other day.
Yeah, that's right. So I got some friends that are starting a podcast because a lot of college coaches have a lot of time on their hands right now.
Yeah, I guess so.
we're trying to get some information out. I know a lot of the high schoolers are full of questions on how all this is going to affect them with NCAA's decisions to give everyone an extra year of eligibility for spring sports, and so we're trying to figure it all out. It's pretty uncertain times, that's for sure.
Man, it really is. What are you doing to pass the time, Coach? I know you got the family. First of all, how was your Easter?
Great Easter. Felt a little weird. We didn't really get dressed up and take pictures.
Yeah, that was weird,
stuff,
wasn't it? Yep.
We were, we just did the online church and kind of hung out here at the house. And
did the same.
My wife made some honey baked ham and broccoli casserole. So I mean, we ate well. So it was a good Easter for me on my part.
That sounds like it. We had the green bean casserole and some scalloped cheesy potatoes. I really liked. I'm a big baked potato guy and mashed potato. But tell you what, you know how to cook those scallop. They're pretty daggone good too. We had some ham as well. What was your meal there, Casey, for Easter?
Some turkey, some green beans, some mashed potatoes, some giblet gravy.
Oh, now you're talking.
Some beets, some carrots. Telling you, man, good stuff.
Are you playing any golf, Adam? I mean, is it dead period? Can you talk to your girls right now, or can you not have any correspondence?
Right. Everyone's home, obviously, so we've been doing some Zoom calls and just to kind of get together and have some face-to-face to check in with everyone to make sure everybody's doing all right. But no, as far as can't have any team practices. Obviously, it's a recruiting dead period they've put on till the end of May, so we can't have any visits or I don't even think there are any junior tournaments going on right now. Yeah. So it's just total standstill. I mean, the only thing I'm really doing is just starting to do some travel arrangements for next year and get the schedule set and book hotel rooms and flights, all that good stuff. Just trying to get as much done to when things open back up and we can go ahead and hit the ground running.
Yeah, man, I like what you're saying. As far as golf worldwide, I mean, is there anybody kind of open back up and they're playing any kind of small tournaments overseas? I mean, or is everything still just at a halt?
I mean, the only golf tour that I've heard of that's still playing, there's a Cactus Tour in Arizona that's still playing. It's a mini tour that they're allowing everyone to take their own cart, and so as long as you ride by yourself and you don't touch the flag stick and then kind of abide by the rules that we're all going by now. So, I mean, at least the golf courses are still open here in Kentucky where you could go out and play still. So
that's crazy. I got a buddy.
It's the only one that I know of.
I got a buddy from Western that plays in that. Well, I guess he's getting to play. I need to holler at him. I might have to get him on. That's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Taylor was a pitcher at Western. He was a pitcher at WKU back in the day when I was.
That's the only one. But at least they're starting to reschedule some things. I've seen that they rescheduled the state amateur for later on in September. So the Golf House Kentucky is starting to put some of their schedule out, and obviously Masters is going to be in November, and PGA and U.S. Open August and September. So with the Ryder Cup, I mean, this fall is still going to be pretty awesome having some golf back to back to back there.
It'd be crazy if they have to wait for a frost delay at the Masters in November. It's possible.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be wild to see how that's going to look in the fall. I can't.
I've thought that. I've thought that as well. And there's no Open Championship whatsoever, which is, I mean, what is 100 and how many years that thing's been clicking?
I think that's sad.
That's
for
unreal.
The third week of July, I wish they would have maybe waited.
Well, the thing about it is though, they don't really have the option of the weather's so bad. Much of the year, I mean, I guess that's kind of what put the kibosh on that,
I know that makes me nervous because I was hoping we would be back to normal by July. So I don't know how many more weeks we got of this.
True, and that's not something they can go and say, okay, well, wait a minute, we're going to go ahead and have it. I mean, it's pretty much it'll be next year before we see a British.
I think that's a done deal. I think so.
Wow. All right, man. Real quick before we go. What is, Casey, have you ever swung a golf club?
Yeah, of course.
All right, what's your handicap? Oh, you played putt-putt,
I mean, yeah, joking aside, in all seriousness, no, though, like my dad tried to teach me golf when I was a little bit younger and wasn't my thing.
What'd you have the most trouble with?
Driving the ball.
Driving,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Best driving tip to Casey from Coach Adam Gary.
Yeah, so what I see with most beginners on the lesson tee is the ball position. A lot of people will just start out with the driver where you would play a wedge and in the middle of your stance. And obviously there's not enough loft on the club to get it airborne, and then you have less time to square the face up so you hit it right and tend to slice it. So the biggest thing that I can teach for the beginners is to get a little spine tilt, move the ball up off the front foot, and just sweep it off the tee.
Listen to that vocabulary. Wow.
He's got it, baby. He's the real deal. That's what they were going to do to Judge Smells. They're going to cut his hamstring. He'll push the ball. He'll quit the game, Gary.
Never get through it. Never
get through the ball and push everything to the right. He'll quit the game. We'll talk to you next week, brother, and hope everything's well then and continues to be safe for you and the Gary family.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me. We're surviving the homeschooling, and so hope I can make it through another week of it for your show next week.
You're the man. Gary on the Green, brought to you by Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill. Appreciate everybody. We're going to start doing a little Culver spotlight on some seniors next week. I'll give some names every show of some seniors who go around the 4th region. Don't go anywhere till next Tuesday, folks. We're going to be coming right back at you. Casey Warner, Brian Webb, Sports Webb.